Excellent episodes with Bubblegum. Hi guys, and welcome to Excellent Episodes with Bubblegum. I'm your host Bubblegum, and today I will be interviewing Zulpha Khan. Hi Zulpha, how are you doing?
Hi there, Bubblegum. I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Is it fine if I ask you some questions?
Yes, I'm quite excited about this interview, so I'm looking forward to all your questions. You may go ahead.
Okay. What inspired you to become a reporter?
Bubblegum, I was always interested in telling people stories, I think, and interested in writing, and also interested in the struggles that people from our areas where we live and our communities, the struggles they face daily. Although I started out my career doing photojournalism or photography, I quickly got interested in actually doing the journalism as a career. It was very interesting to me. It was literally just the curiosity of being out there, being at the forefront of things that are happening in our country, in our cities, in our communities, and bringing people's stories, telling people's stories, using their voices so other people, their voices can be heard.
What risks did you have to take to become a reporter?
I don't think that there were any risks really. If I had to think about it, to become a reporter, all I had to do was enroll in a journalism course, which I did, and I did a three-year studying course at CPUT, which is Cape Peninsula University of Technology. And through that course I did, I was able to do a 1-year internship, which is literally just a 1 year of working in the industry to get experience. And I think the experience there was really good to further nurture my interest in becoming a journalist or reporter. But there weren't any risks I had to overcome or face to actually becoming a journalist.
Okay. What was one of the most exciting or interesting stories you have come across?
Okay, that's quite I won't say a difficult one. It's just there are so many stories that you come across. As a reporter, you can sometimes have instances where you're speaking to ordinary people on one day, and on another day you could be, at Parliament and having to speak to politicians and members of Parliament, and even, maybe even having interview, for instance, maybe the president. So from presidents to ordinary people, there are so many stories. There isn't anything specifically that stands out, but I would guess that things like the State of the Nation address is an annual event that takes place, and that's always very exciting because there's a lot going on, and as a journalist, you are allowed to be inside of the parliamentary precinct, which is not something that every citizen is allowed to, not every citizen is allowed in. So as a journalist, it's almost always exciting because you get access to places and areas within, for instance, government, like I said, at Parliament, that ordinary citizens wouldn't have. And I think that makes it exciting because you can be right, like I said, on the front line of stories and events that need to be, told to ordinary South Africans.
I see. Was it tough to become a woman reporter in the news industry?
I would say that some of the things that, yes, there are instances where it is a little bit tough. I think there are times when, as a female or a woman reporter, um, people that you either speak to or interview, they maybe don't take you as seriously as they would take a male reporter. But nowadays, there are much more, the challenges are a little bit harder because as a female reporter or journalist, if you need to go and cover a story where you have to go into sort of a danger zone or a protest, as a female, you just feel a lot more at risk and you feel more vulnerable just because you are a female. Females are sometimes a softer target. And so if you are reporting in a conflict kind of situation, that can be very scary. And yes, so that does make it is a challenge, and it does sometimes make your job a little bit harder because you have to, besides focusing on your story and getting to get all your information, you also have to focus on, you have to give extra focus on your safety and being safe.
Okay, what advice would you give to all the young people out there who would take into consideration to become a reporter?
I would say that there's a general perception, Bubblegum, amongst young people that being a journalist is a glamorous job. You hear people reporting, journalists reporting on radio. You see TV reporters, obviously, on TV news. And with the newspaper journalists, obviously, they get their coverage posted in newspapers and online. So their names become familiar and their faces become familiar. So people know them, and they're almost sometimes seen as celebrities, if you will. But I would caution young people who are considering being a journalist or going into journalism that it's not always glamorous. In fact, it's hardly ever glamorous. It's a lot of hard work, and it's more of a calling than a job. You need to really feel that you want to make a difference in people's lives and, exposing the truth and those kind of things. So you need to really, you must have a real desire to want to be someone who is, like I said, telling people stories and giving people the truth, for instance. It's not a glamorous job. It's a lot of hard work. And it's not always very well paid. So, yes, just remember that.
Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning into my podcast, and thank you Zulpha Khan for tuning in and for answering my questions.
Thank you, Bubblegum. That is really very enjoyable. I am so happy that I had this conversation with you, and I hope that the listeners, take some advice, and I've made some impression for young people who want to really become journalists one day.
Okay, thank you, Zulpha.
Thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed my podcast, and if you did, please smash that like button down below, and I will see all of you next time. Bye.
Excellent episodes of Bubblegum.